There are silences that bring peace, and there are silences that wound. Not because they say something, but because they say absolutely nothing at all. And what you are about to understand here about this particular silence, few people dare to explore it all the way through. Ghosting is not a clear refusal. It is not an explained ending. It is a disappearance. And what hurts is not only that the other person leaves, it is that they leave without giving you back the meaning of what happened. Today, we are going to talk about ghosting differently. Not to accuse, not to excuse, but to understand what this silence does to you and what it truly says about the other person. There is something at the end of this conversation that radically changes the way you experience absence, and most people never get there. What ghosting does to you begins long before you even realize it. When someone disappears without explanation, the relationship does not close. It stays open, in suspension, like a sentence without a period. The human brain seeks continuity, and when there is no answer, it creates one. Replay the messages, the silences, the last words. You look for the clue you missed, the detail that would explain everything. And slowly something shifts. You no longer ask yourself what happened. You ask yourself what you did wrong. Ghosting pushes you towards self-accusation where a single word could have simply set a clear limit. You doubt your feelings, your worth, your legitimacy to want more. You wonder if you were too present, too intense, too sincere. And that question, as unfair as it is, ends up changing you. And above all, you stay waiting, not necessarily for the person, but for an explanation that will never come. Ghosting does not hurt because you were left. It hurts because you were left without reality, without a frame, without words, without any ground to stand on and move forward. Let us now look at what ghosting does on the other side. On the other side, ghosting is not a sign of strength. It is avoidance. Avoiding the discomfort of saying, avoiding disappointing, avoiding owning what one feels, or sometimes even what one no longer feels. You do not ghost because you have nothing to say. You ghost because you do not yet know how to say it, because you have not learned to sit with the discomfort of the truth in front of someone who matters. But by disappearing repeatedly, you learn to never stay. You protect yourself from discomfort, but you also cut yourself off, without realizing it, from depth and intensity. And little by little, you become someone who moves through relationships without ever truly landing in them. If what you just heard resonates somewhere inside you, if you feel this conversation is truly speaking to you, subscribe now to this channel and activate the bell so you never miss any of this content, because every new episode is one more piece in your understanding of yourself and your relationships. Let us explore together the different types of ghosting, because understanding them changes everything. The first type, the flight ghosting. It appears when the relationship begins to become real. More closeness, more implicit expectations, more emotional presence. So the other person disappears, not because they feel nothing, but because on the contrary, they feel too much and do not know what to do with it. What it does to you, you wonder what you did too much of. You learn to hold yourself back, to dim your intensity so you no longer frighten people away. What it does to the other person, they avoid immediate discomfort, but reinforce their inability to stay present. This ghosting is not a rejection of you. It is an inability to stay, often temporary, but always revealing of where they are right now. And understanding this difference can radically change what you carry in your body after that absence. The second type, the comfort ghosting. Here, the other person disappears out of convenience. No desire to explain, no desire to manage your reaction, no desire to own anything. Silence becomes the easy way out. What it does to you, you feel replaceable, as if the connection never truly mattered. What it does to the other person, they choose their comfort at the expense of the bond. Silence becomes an emergency exit where relational maturity is missing. The third type, the confusion ghosting. The person does not really know what they want. They enjoy the connection, the attention, but not the commitment. So they alternate: presence, absence, return, disappearance. What it does to you, you stay suspended in hope and in waiting, unable to settle. What it does to the other person, they maintain a bond, without responsibility, feeding on the connection without ever truly carrying it. Here, it is not the absence that hurts most. It is the repeated uncertainty. And finally, the fourth type, the protection ghosting. Rarer, but very real. The person disappears because they feel overwhelmed, unable to set a limit any other way. It is not elegant, but it is not malicious either. What it does to you, you can still doubt deeply if you have no solid reference point inside yourself. What it does to the other person, they avoid a confrontation, a closure-free ending that is beyond them. But remember this, understanding does not mean accepting. Whatever type of ghosting you have experienced, there is one constant you must hold on to. Ghosting is always an absence of words, never a statement about your value. The real danger is not ghosting itself. It is what it pushes you to do to yourself, diminishing yourself, holding yourself back, adapting to the absence, as if the problem were the way you love and not the other person's lack of courage. So here are 2 concrete exercises to help you move through this situation with more clarity. Exercise number 1, discernment. Take a moment. Ask yourself calmly which type of ghosting you just experienced. And most importantly, what are you still trying to carry on behalf of the other person? Then ask yourself, what is their silence pushing you to do to yourself right now? These answers will help you see much more clearly what belongs to whom. Exercise number 2, the inner closure. Close your eyes for a few seconds and say to yourself internally, I do not need their answer to respect myself. Then add, what was not said does not belong to me. Breathe slowly. Let these words settle, not as an empty formula, but as a decision you are making for yourself. Closure is not always given by the other person. Sometimes it is created from within with patience and intention. Ghosting is not a war between those who disappear and those who wait. It is often the meeting of 2 immature places in love. On one side, someone who never received words and who is learning to stand tall without explanation. On the other, someone who has not yet learned to stay present when emotion becomes real. Both of these places are human. Both of these places deserve to grow. There is no side to choose. There is an evolution to make. Being ghosted can become a lesson in sovereignty, the lesson of no longer diminishing yourself for an absence that does not belong to you. Ghosting someone can become a call to grow emotionally, the call to learn to speak the truth, to set a limit with honesty, to stay rather than disappear. Love will never ask you to be perfect. It asks you to be present. Present to yourself, present to the other, present to what you truly feel. And it is exactly there that a more mature intensity begins, more sincere and far more powerful. But there is something that is never said enough about this subject. The particular loneliness that settles after ghosting. That emptiness that is not quite sadness, not quite anger. Something more diffuse, more insidious, an endless questioning that seeps into everything. Should I have done things differently? Should I have said less, shown less, felt less? And the answer to all of that is no, you should not have felt less. You deserved more clarity, more presence, more courage from the other person. Because someone who leaves without a word is not someone who felt nothing. It is someone who did not yet know how to inhabit what they felt. And that distinction changes absolutely everything. It removes the weight of fault from your shoulders and places it where it belongs, in a story between 2 people, in a meeting between 2 levels of emotional maturity. There's also something that ghosting reveals about you, not about your flaws, not about your lacks, about what you are willing to tolerate. Every time you wait in silence for an explanation that never comes, you are training something inside yourself. You are training patience. Yes, but you are also training, without meaning to, the idea that you do not deserve an answer. And that idea, if it settles for long enough, begins to shape the way you enter the next relationships. And that is where the real work begins. Not the work of understanding the other person, but the work of understanding yourself. Why do I keep waiting? Why do I prefer uncertainty over the realization that this connection may not have been what I believed? Ghosting is a powerful revealer. It reveals what you carry about the value of a connection, about what you truly believe you deserve. It also reveals how quickly you are willing to place your value in the hands of someone who has not yet shown they deserve it. And if today you are listening to this, it may be because part of you already knows that the moment has come to choose yourself, to choose your peace over an endless wait, to choose your clarity over an ambiguity that drains you without nourishing you. This ability to choose yourself does not build in a day. It builds in the small daily choices, in the moments when you decide to stop shrinking your feelings so that someone else feels comfortable. And in the moments when you choose to respect yourself before seeking to be understood. There is something deeply liberating in the idea that the other person's absence does not speak about you. It speaks about where they are, about what they can or cannot yet give. It speaks about the gap between what they feel and what they are capable of expressing in a real relationship. And while you search for the reasons for their leaving in your own shortcomings, the real reason lies within them, not within you. And you, in the meantime, keep growing. You keep loving, feeling, seeking true connections. Not despite this pain, but because of what it has taught you about yourself. Because every silence crossed with awareness brings you a little closer to yourself. And that may be the most beautiful definition of emotional sovereignty. Not the absence of pain, but the ability to cross through it without losing yourself. If you recognized yourself on one side or the other of this conversation, know one thing. You are not behind, you are on your way. And every moment of awareness, even uncomfortable ones, is a step toward a freer version of yourself. And if you feel the need to be guided toward loving with more clarity, more presence, and more truth, know that you are not alone. Because this conversation does not exist to judge, but to grow the way we love. To help us build truer, stronger bonds, more rooted in who we truly are. I will close with a sentence that is deeply close to my heart. Thinking is the beginning of doing. So if you have listened to these words all the way through, then you are ready to love more deeply than you allow yourself to. Thank you for staying until the end. Thank you for allowing these words to enter your mind. This is not mere content. It is a conversation between two souls.